Well, there's a pretty big update in the Kang Dynasty, and the director, that's not going to be. Let's talk a couple minutes about Destin Cretton and how he's no longer directing the upcoming Avengers film. Now, before we do that, though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring that bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos, and we want to be your place for all the superhero news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently, so you're really in the know. Well, it's been a pretty big news week all around for superhero films, and I don't think any of them are bigger than this one. We have got a new report that seems to indicate, and it's from the trades, that Destin Cretton will no longer direct Avengers Kang Dynasty. And this begs all kinds of questions. Now, many people are pretty worried about what's going on behind the scenes at Marvel Studios, and apparently this was an amicable exit, and Cretton intends to be very much a big part of the MCU family moving forward and direct future Marvel films. So don't worry, that Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings sequel is still coming our way. Now, as many of you know, he was set to direct Kang Dynasty, but there's been a lot going on behind the scenes at Marvel Studios, and we've had multiple reports that Marvel is actually going to ditch Kang the Conqueror as the main villain. And quite honestly, guys, this feels like a big chapter in that story. I find it very odd that once Loki Season 2 finished up, all of a sudden, all the stories about Kang and Jonathan Majors started to move forward and changes began to manifest. At this point, it's not confirmed, but it does truly feel like Marvel Studios is indeed going to find a new villain for their upcoming Avengers movie. And like we talked the other day, that Avengers Eternity War trademark that Marvel kept, wow, does it feel like right now this movie could indeed become that, and Kang himself be put back up on the shelf. Now, the other big question is about where this leaves Cretton, and honestly, I really hope he sticks with Marvel Studios. Now, they did go on to say that he still plans to helm the upcoming Shang-Chi and a Legend of the Ten Rings sequel, and despite all the reports that the series had been scrapped, Deadline seems to confirm that he is indeed still working on Wonder Man, and even goes on to say that that show will be released under the new Marvel Spotlight banner, which makes the whole project a little more exciting. Now, this obviously doesn't confirm Kang is out, but it does really suggest that some of those other stories are getting legs, and for me, it totally feels like that's what's happening. Now, Thanos wasn't met with the greatest response at the end of that first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, to be fair. But after multiple appearances, the general temperature from fans is that Kang really doesn't feel like the threat he should. He's been thwarted or defeated multiple times, and I think Marvel was trying to give us a feel for iterations of the character constantly returning, but unfortunately, I think it gave the impression that he's a weak villain, and with Marvel trying to adjust and get themselves back on the top of the heap, I think they've abandoned this character in order to ensure a big return on Secret Wars to get exactly what they want. Now, who becomes the villain? That's the big question. Many of us think a variant of the Beyonder could indeed step forward. It could be Loki, although like I said the other day, that would undermine the end of Season 2 of Loki, or it could be Doctor Doom. And given how far Marvel has before Secret Wars finally manifests, they do indeed have enough time to establish a character, make him a threat, and then bring him to the front. So maybe that's exactly what they're doing. We're going to follow the story pretty closely. I think it's really big news. I'm glad Cretton is sticking with Marvel, and there's no hard feelings about the project, and I actually think the amicable part of the report was that both Marvel and the director were indeed ready to walk away from the project, and they both did. Pretty crazy news.